Scream for me, YouTube! Scream for me, YouTube! Guess what? It's Maiden Week here on Concerts and Vinyl. Kristen Steps here to bring you the goods. Today, we have Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time. It's Eddie. It's Eddie, the most badass Eddie of all the Eddies. Somewhere in Time Eddie. Stranger in Strangeland Eddie, which is very similar. It's also pretty kick-ass. Anyway, at the time of this recording, it's 11:23. So 11:22 yesterday was the 34th anniversary of my favorite song on this album, Stranger in a Strangeland, being released as a single. The second single off this album. The first single was Wasted Years. Anyway, happy 34th to Stranger in a Strangeland. Happy 34th to back in September of this album. My favorite Maiden album by far. A lot of you are like, what are you talking about? It's Number of the Beast. It's Powerslave. It's Peace of Mind. What's wrong with you? Well, Somewhere in Time, to me, is the best Maiden album. You know, it's my channel, my opinion. Well, anyway, this album really was Iron Maiden at its peak. It was coming off successful albums, Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, and Powerslave, the ones we just mentioned, right? And Somewhere in Time is in 1986. So that time period would have been Alice Cooper, Constrictor. That was a heavy Alice Cooper album, you know, Alice Cooper going metal. That is a great album. And we had Cinderella Night Songs, Megadeth, Peace Sells, But Who's Buying, Metallica, Master of Puppets, Ozzy Osbourne, The Ultimate Sin, not metal, but Queen did A Kind of Magic. And Van Halen did 5150. 1986 is a pretty good year of music. Track list of this album is absolutely outstanding. As I just said, my favorite song, Stranger in Strangeland, that was written by Adrian Smith, one of the two guitarists for Iron Maiden. The other one being Dave Murray. Lyrics are about an Arctic explorer who dies and gets frozen in the ice and is found 100 years later. Sounds pretty morbid, right? But Smith had met an explorer who discovered a body that had been frozen for about 100 years and inspired him to write this song. Bruce Dickinson didn't write anything for this album. Adrian Smith obviously had the two hits off this album, but Steve Harris wrote a lot, and Dave Murray helped with one of the songs, Deja Vu. Let's see. Adrian Smith said that this was the first Maiden album that gave him space to play because all the other albums were just fast and heavy, and this gave him a chance to play guitar. And he had this solo in Stranger in a Strangeland, and that is a pretty awesome solo. And I remember the first time I heard that solo. It was, and this is the way I found this album. You know, I went to the Legacy of the Beast tour last year, 2019, and that's going to be part of Maiden Week. We're going to talk about that tour. We're going to talk about this album that just came out, the triple vinyl album that came out this past week. But anyway, so after I saw Legacy of the Beast tour, I'm watching this YouTube channel. This Video Gamer, Bithead 1000. Very unique guy. You're either going to love him or you hate him. I'll put a link to his channel in that video down below. But he comes out, he's like, I got Somewhere in Time in vinyl. This is the best Maiden album. This is Maiden at their finest. All the things I'm doing right now. And this is just worth it. We're going to get a copyright strike. And he plays the solo from Stranger in a Strangeland. And I listen to that. That's Adrian Smith. And it's a pretty damn good solo. Anyway, that's how I found this album. He is so enthusiastic about this album and talking about how awesome this album was. I was like, I have to listen to this album. I have to get this album. And I listened to it on Apple Music or Amazon, whichever one I had at the time, and ended up getting this vinyl for Christmas. And I need to get another copy I did a party foul on this one, and it no longer plays Alexander the Great. It is scratched pretty bad there. It plays everything else, but I want a new one. So I'm getting a new one, but I still have this one. This is going to be my test record from now on. When I try things in different record players. Don't mind having two. But anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, the album cover. This album cover is by Derek Riggs. He worked on this album cover for 3 months. That is insane. So not only does this thing have the best songs, his album cover, look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's crazy. And then on the back, there's even more. And we got the band here. And we got Bruce Dickinson holding up a brain, a tribute to Peace of Mind. And there's other tributes in this. I mean, the detail is crazy. This is one of the best cover arts of all time. If you don't think so, you're high. Anyway, the track listing. Let's go back to the track listing. I keep going on and on and on and on. We got Somewhere in Time, Caught Somewhere in Time, Wasted Years, which is like a lot of people's favorites, Iron Maiden song, and a lot of people's favorite song on this album. It's not my favorite on this album. It's a good song. Sea of Madness, better than Wasted Years. Sorry, I like it a lot better. It's fantastic. Heaven Can Wait. That song is fantastic as well. They've only really played 2 of these songs live ever since the Caught Somewhere, or the Somewhere in Time. so many different titles. We got Caught Somewhere in Time, Somewhere in Time tour. They've only really played Heaven Can Wait and Wasted Years. And I could tell you, Heaven Can Wait is worth it to play in. Wasted Years is worth it playing. But they really should be playing Stranger in a Strangeland. Alexander the Great would be really cool. I mean, they got a lot of opportunity here on this album. But anyway, back to the titles. The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. Harris wrote that song. Where I talked about Stranger in a Strangeland. Deja Vu was Harris and Dave Murray. And Alexander the Great, Steve Harris. So they made this greatest hits package called, what they call it, Somewhere Back in Time or something like that. It's greatest hits package, like 1980 to 1990, around that era. And on the cover is like this Eddie here from Somewhere in Time. And it looks like it was so successful that he made the cover of the greatest hits package. Well, guess what? The only song that's on the greatest hits package from this amazing best ever album is Wasted Years. Who was in charge of that? Steve Harris? Somebody ought to slap you. My God. How could Heaven Can Wait not be on there? How could Stranger in a Strangeland cannot be there? There's at least 3 that should be on there. I could argue Sea of Madness should be on there, or Alexander the Great should be on there, but let's just do mute point. Let's do the top 3 here. We got Wasted Years, Heaven Can Wait, Stranger in a Strangeland. 2 of those were released as singles. 1 of them you played live on several live albums. Let's get it done. This should have been there. What's wrong? This album is fantastic. The next album after this, Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, that's a good album, and it has a lot of flavor that this one has, but it's not as good. Not as good. I mean, obviously, it's got the evil that men can do. That song's great, but this album, I think, is a great way to start if you haven't listened to Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden is, the thing about Iron Maiden is they make you earn it. You have to listen to their songs. Sometimes they start out slow and then they like pick up the pace and they really make you earn it. And, you can't just like skip through tracks on Iron Maiden. You got to sit there and listen to the whole album, no matter what album it is. And, they're all good. I'm not going to say they're not good, but this is my favorite. This is the best album cover. These are the best songs. This here is the greatest hits package. Now, a lot of you are going to disagree with me. You can comment down below and disagree with me. I'm cool with that. Some of you will actually agree with me. You could agree and type down below too. That'd be fantastic. But, yeah. I mean, really, this is the best. They were coming off an amazing tour where they did like 333 days. They were absolutely exhausted. Those great albums that we mentioned before, they were just... This is really Iron Maiden at its prime. Man. Let's see what else. I think that's it. That's all I really had to say today. This is awesome. Get this album if you don't have it. Listen to this album. Comment down below. Tell me how you feel about Somewhere in Time, Eddie. Somewhere in Time, the album. Any of the tracks off here. How it fits into your Iron Maiden top albums. And I will see you in the next one, which will be more for Iron Maiden Week on Concerts and Vinyl. And we'll see you in the next one.